evening, high school basketball fans, and welcome to Midwest Conference Classic Conference basketball action here tonight as the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings play host to the Crusaders of Sheboygan Lutheran. I'm Dave Preston along with Mike Pfeiffer to bring you all the play-by-play action here this evening with a pair of teams here who are right at the moment in the lower division, of course, of the Midwest Classic Conference, and just battling right now, Mike, for some respect and getting ready basically for tournament time, kind of taking things one game at a time, and just trying to get ready for the impending tournament that comes up the end of the month.
Well, Dave, that's exactly what you have to do right now. Neither of them at all in the hunt for the conference, in the lower half of the division right now. But you build upon these last few games before you head into the tournament time, because as we've always talked about, once you get to that tournament play at the end of the season, it's a brand new season. It's the second season. All teams start equal. The records are thrown out the window, and you go from there, and each team starts very equal. So the Vikings rather, have to build their game up right now, get sharp for that second season.
Now, I would think that we're going to see a very interesting basketball game out here tonight. As a matter of fact, this was one of the this team is one of the first teams that Winnebago Lutheran defeated in the first half of the season. As a matter of fact, it was the beginning of their 4-game winning streak, if you recall. They won by 1 point over Sheboygan Lutheran in their last game before the Christmas break. So in addition to that, Sheboygan Lutheran on that night was missing one of their better ball players, who will be back in uniform here this evening and will be ready to go for the Crusaders out here tonight. Winnebago, meanwhile, trying to bounce back after a defeat at the hands of the St. Mary Springs Ledgers, a ball game which saw Winnebago really never get in to the flow of their offense. Just really struggled in that basketball game. At the same time, of course, played some very fine defense, and I think did a heck of a job against an upstart St. Mary Springs Ledger team that is probably the dark horse club of the Fox Valley Christian Conference. They were coming off of a big win over an upset win over Apple and Xavier, starting to play some fine basketball, and the Vikings held tough right with that basketball team. There were just a couple of big turning points in that ball game that spelled the defeat for Winnebago Lutheran Academy, and I'm sure the one thing Lyric Lucas would like to do here tonight is to get his 2 leading scorers into the flow very early, that being Dave Melke and Paul Aird out here this evening.
Well, Dave, you hit the key, right, and the fact that, you know, the Ledgers are playing very well right now, and it was going to be a tough game for the Vikings to win, even though it was on their home court. However, going back to the Vikings, the key is, again, consistency. They show spurts where they play very well for 2 or 3 minutes at a time, but they don't continue that throughout a quarter or throughout a half or throughout 3 quarters of a game. That's what Lyric Lucas is looking for at this point, is the word consistency. It's there, the ability is there to perform very well, but they have to be consistent for longer spurts of time.
And we're going to be right back with the starting lineups for both teams here at the field house at Winnebago Lutheran High right after this on your Winnebago Lutheran Academy Viking Basketball Report.
Are you seeing more black and white in your TV these days? Well, then it's time to change to a new television from Silica. At Silica Appliance and TV, you can choose from one of the largest displays of major name TVs in the area. Names like Sylvania, Zenith, RCA, Sharp, and Canon. They're in Silica, Waupun, and Beaver Dam. And satisfy the urge at the Quick Trip stores of Fond du Lac, with 3 locations to serve you. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the Quick Trip stores of Fond du Lac. Pizzaville, located at 160 West Scott Street, specializes in home cooking. Stop in for their all-you-can-eat noon buffet. Served Monday through Saturday for only $4.50. Noon and evening buffet served 7 days per week. Stop or call for fast delivery Pizzaville at 921-1700.
If you think that all new car dealers are pretty much the same, think again. At Holiday Auto and Truck, there is a difference you'll appreciate, because it's based on what you've told us you like and dislike about buying a new car. At Holiday, it's a professional approach to selling, considering your needs, your budget. It's knowing our products inside and out, specialization, and a commitment to total customer satisfaction. For Oldsmobile, Cadillac, Mazda, or GMC truck, we're the dealer with a difference. Holiday Auto and Truck Fond du Lac. It's a matter of style.
Welcome back once again to the field house here at Winnebago Lutheran High, and we're just moments away from the introductions of the players for tonight's game. Parents night crowd on hand. Let's take it down now to Steve Berg, our public address announcer, and the introduction of tonight's starting lineups.
This evening we welcome as our guests the Crusaders of Sheboygan Lutheran High School. Here are the starters for the Crusaders. Number 24, a 6'3" senior, Dan Leibom. Number 30, a 6'2" senior, Jeff Wagner. Number 44, a 6'4" junior, Brian Kelmerton. Number 15, a 5'10" senior, Mark Schmitz. Number 13, a 5'11" junior, Jim Johnson. The Crusaders are coached by Paul Kuiper. And now here are the starters for your Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. Starting at center, number 15, a 6'5" junior, Paul Aird. Starting at forward, number 22, a 6'1" senior, Dave Milkey. Starting at forward, number 44, a 6'4" junior, John Belkey. Starting at guard, number 11, a 5'10" senior, Ben Neatfeld. Starting at guard, number 14, a 6'1" junior, Nate Pullman. The Vikings are coached by Larry Klukas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem.
Group that is, Mike, that does that version of that anthem, but I like that one as well.
Yeah, that is such a thing.
Just a little bit different. You know, another thing that they do out here at Winnebago Lutheran that I like is they bring out the color guard for the national anthem, as it's just opposed to using the flag that's up on the wall or whatever. Makes it kind of nice as you see the color guard exiting the basketball court here. And we should be all set to go for high school basketball action. The Vikings come in here at 5-10 overall. They are 3-7 in conference play. As you get a look again at the starters for the Vikings, and once again reiterating that certainly Winnebago wants to get off to a good start with both Dave Melke and Paul Aird out here tonight. That has been rather critical for them, and in games that they have won or played well in at any rate, those guys have come out and played tough from the word go. Not that they don't play tough, don't get me wrong there, but getting into the scoring column, I guess, is what we're looking at. Well, Sheboygan Lutheran Out of there with a tap, and Mark Schmitz out hole high, comes off on the near side. It is Liebem, and it leaves it back outside for Kelmerton, and Kelmerton, the junior, hits the 18-footer.
And we see the Crusaders opening up in a 1-3-1 zone.
And down low to the block. Here's Belke, overshot the hoop. Aird is there, and he'll drop it back in. Ball aired, and a traveling violation in the backcourt. Vikings, Nate Pullman pulling up very quickly there with the press, and maybe forced that turnover. Didn't bring yourself. Oh, you got one there. Okay, I was going to say they were all outside the van, the Pepsis and whatever. As here's Melke posting up, turn around 15 for there, would knock it down. Needfeld had, then lost the handle on the basketball. As Belke tries to save from going OB, cannot. And it is going to go back here to the Sheboygan Lutheran Crusaders. And Jim Johnson, one of their starting guards, came up a little gimpy there on the right ankle.
And in JV action tonight, the Winnebago JVs stay undefeated on the year with a 61-43 victory over the Crusaders.
And almost a steal there by Aird in the backcourt. And Mark Johnson now back here to Jim, Mark Schmitz back to Jim Johnson as they come into the lane, stolen away by Belke. Belke pushing out forward here for Nate Pullman. Pullman overlaid the hoop, and Belke tapped it out of bounds.
Those are points you got to convert on when you get the good steal, or the actually is a partially blocked shot that we took back. Breakaway 2-0. You got to get a better shot than we got off of that.
So Mark Schmitz here working in the backcourt on Ben Needfeld. Lead feed comes up to Jeff Wagner, down court to the baseline. Kelmerton missed the shot, and Ben Needfeld with the rebound. Leave it for Nate Pullman in the backcourt. Pullman quickly back across the timeline. They post up again to Melke. Turned down the free throw line jumper, gives to Belke. Belke's 12-footer to the near side would knock it out, and the rebound cleared away by Mark Schmitz. Schmitz racing it back up into the forecourt. Running one enters, good in the foul. Either on Pullman or Belke. He's going to be on Pullman. Nate Pullman will pick up the personal foul. And Schmitz with the bucket. And Lutheran goes back out in front at 4-2 with a chance to make it a 3-point lead. About the same size crowd we had on hand for that Springs game on Tuesday night, Mike.
A little bit less than that, I'd say.
Maybe just a tad less, but not by a whole heck of a lot. Schmidt missed the free throw. Melke with the rebound, and Ben Needfeld had it knocked away and out of bounds. It will go back to the Vikings.
Caught off of the foot of Dan Liebham for the Crusaders.
So here's Dave Melke. Melke coming to the lane, tried to dump it down, did dump it down to Aird, but he wasn't looking for it. Paul Aird was already trying to set up for the offensive rebound.
Well, actually what happened, this ball was tipped in front of Aird, and that little tip a lot of times will cause you to readjust your hand. That's exactly what Aird did, and didn't get the full extent of the ball.
And a blocking foul called in the backcourt offensively on Dan Liebem.
Foul number 24.
An offensive foul on Liebem away from the ball. First personal, the first team foul. The Vikings will get the basketball back.
Liebham tried to establish a pick, but just didn't get there in time. Is basically what it amounted to.
That's what they're calling anyway.
Right. You know, you have to have time and distance back there.
Calling a moving pick is what it amounts to. And a turnaround bank jumper here by Paul Aird is good. Well, Mike, that's what the Vikings needed, was to get him into the offensive flow quickly. And Ben Needfeld is driving Jim Johnson nuts here in the backcourt. Comes back up court, and Belke now with a foul. Well, he had the vertical plane, but did have the hands out away from the body.
Right. Got the elbow as it went up.
Belke's first, the second team.
They're not going to call this a shooting foul, however.
No, they're not. You're right. Surprised at that. Looping feed down the court here to the near side to Mark Schmitz. Got it down low underneath. Turnaround jumper there by Wagner would knock it down. Rebound to Aird. Outlet pass. Melke to Pullman. Down low. Here's Belke. And oh boy, he overlaid the hoop.
That's two chances they've had that they didn't convert on puppies underneath. But you can see an up-tempo game that the Vikings are trying to get out and run.
And the down low to the block on a backdoor feed. Brian Kelmerton has his second bucket of the game. Kelmerton and the Lutheran Crusaders lead it again at 6-4. Needfeld, Benji, two-point try here. Foot was on the line. Belke with the rebound. He'll put it back in.
Vikings doubling the Crusaders on the boards thus far, 6-3.
And quickly up court, Wagner's running one-hander, no. Calmerton with a rebound, he'll put it back in. And again, Winnebago trailing it here by 2 as Nate Pullman works it across the timeline. Dave Melke out between the 2 rings. Here's Belkey's free throw line jumper. That shot won't drop. Melke taps it free. Saved from going OB by Paul Aird. Right into the hands of Nate Pullman. Coming to the lane. Leaves it for Benji. Free throw line jumper off the front of the rim. No. And a foul underneath. We'll call that one a little touch and go job there on Dave Melke. Yep. Dave Melke's first personal, the 3rd team. You're right. Now here is Matt Pullman into the basketball game, as well as John Supernan. Nate Pullman comes out, and Dave Melke comes out for the Vikings. And again, Winnebago pressuring full boat here in the backcourt. Working it up is Mark Schmitz. Schmitz out ahead here. Calmerton leaves it now in the backcourt for Jimmy Johnson. This is Liebam as they come to Johnson. 3-pointer there on the way, short front of the rim. Belke with the rebound. High outlet pass out here to John Supernan. And the Crusaders back quickly on defense. Cross court tipped away, saved from going OB, but going to come back into the hands of John Supernan. Vikings back up court, pulls up 15-footer airballed it. It's going to go out of bounds and go back to Winnebago, to Sheboygan Lutheran.
They make it 3:54 to go here in the first quarter of action. It's an 8-6 Crusader lead over the Vikings.
And Winnebago again will pressure. Full bore in the backcourt. Mike Hicks, a 5'11 senior, is into the basketball game for Sheboygan Lutheran. Has the basketball now as he comes straight down the lane. Dishes off, but a foul. Out ahead of the pass even.
Matt Pullman, got it? Yep.
Matt Pullman, first personal, 14 ball.
His first, the 4th team.
Air ball on the corner.
Yeah. And this one kicked away out of bounds. We'll go back to Winnebago Lutheran. 3:36 remaining here, first quarter of action. Sheboygan Lutheran leading it at 8-6. Coffin corner to the near side. Supernan comes to Belke. Jackknife jumper there will knock it out off the low post. And Calmerton with the rebound. So back up court as Hicks with the basketball comes for Jimmy Johnson. And Ben Needfeld with a steal. Needfeld coming down one-on-one. They're running. Oh, he crouched the basketball. Rebound away to Matt Pullman, and he'll put it in. And the Vikings have tied it up here at 8 apiece. And again, the pressure here in the backcourt. Coffin corner to the near side. Johnson comes for Hicks. Hicks with a lean-in 10-footer there. No, Supernan taps out. It's going to go out of bounds before Benji Needfeld can get to it.
Definitely an up-tempo game here. We've got combined, 26 shots attempted already in the first quarter.
Nate Pullman comes back in. Aird and Belke are out, as is Ben Needfeld. And also in the ball game now for Winnebago is Brian Ewert for the Vikings, as well as Steve Schneider. So to the near side, here's Hicks. Tricky dribbles the basketball, coming in the lane, and a blocking foul. They're going to call this one on Matt Pullman. Yep. Matt Pullman's second, and that is the 5th team already. And we're going to be in for a long night. I can see it already. Don't mean to knock the pair, but we've seen them a couple of times earlier this year, and both times that we have seen them, it has been foul-plagued games. It has been played mostly from the free throw line. Jimmy Johnson with the shot, the rebound to Brian Ewert, and quickly back up court come the Vikings. Got it down here to Schneider, and he'll let in.
Yeah, good post up Schneider on the lower right block, got the position, received the ball nicely, and again, it was all set up by him establishing that position early at the low block.
And quickly back up court, Ewert here with a foul. Out ahead of that, however, Jimmy Johnson traveled, no whistle on that. But the 6th team foul already on the Vikings, the first there on Ewert. Johnson Swings off for Schmitz here to the left side sidewalk, and they'll bring it back to Johnson off for the baseline. He traveled, they don't call. Ewert had the rebound, then lost it. Kicks back out at his Hicks, circle high here to the left side. On the left side sidewalk, Schmitz there. Here he airballed one. Rebound away to John Supernet. Quickly back up court, give it to Schneider. Coming to the lane, running one-hander, it's good. Steve Schneider, since coming off the Pines with 2 quick buckets here. The Vikings lead it at 12-8.
3 consecutive shots that have gone through now for the Vikings. Starting to find the range a little bit.
And another foul as we come up court.
Number 22, Dave Milkey, second personal.
Dave Milkey picks up his second personal, and already with 1:52 remaining here in the first quarter, Sheboygan Lutheran is in the bonus.
Yeah, with the 17 foul situation this year, you don't see that very often.
No, you certainly don't, except with these guys.
Today's game brought to you by the Merck Marine Credit Union, with 3 offices to serve all your financial needs. They're available to anyone living or working in Fond du Lac County or the townships of Leroy, Lemira, Chester, and Trenton in Dodge County. Student loans available for you or your family's continuing education at the Merck Marine Credit Union. They are a member NCUA.
And back up court here with the basketball. Kevin Privy had it stripped free. Hicks had it knocked away from behind by Supernan and out of bounds. And it is going to go back once again to Sheboygan Lutheran. So the Crusaders will inbound underneath their own bucket. Looping feed into the Hicks, trying to come into the lane. Ball bank free, picked it off the floor once again. And Kilmerton underneath all alone will lay it in.
That's a good look-away pass there, and part of Luther and Sheboygan. They did it. He takes it to the baseline, into the paint, and is cross-court without the look back to the lower right side.
So the Crusaders have come back to tie this one up, and they got it down low on the block once again to Steve Schneider, and his turnaround finger roll is good. His 6th point since coming in.
Another nice pass again. We've seen some fine assists in this game.
And in fact, he has scored the Vikings last 6 in a row. So here's Schmitz. Down low to the block, and a turnaround jumper by Liebem is good, and a foul. Foul's going to be called on Steve Schneider. First personal, the 8th team foul called here in the first quarter against Winnebago. So Schneider and Ewert are going to come out. Off to the free throw line goes Liebem to try to complete a 3-point play, and he honeycombed that one out. Aired with the rebound, another foul right away.
Now, this is one of those nights that if you're sitting about 6-7 down the bench, good chance you probably will see some action.
Well, that is only the second team foul on Sheboygan Lutheran. 8 have been whistled on Winnebago. Nate Pullman off to Supernan, out of the right side, pops up there with a 10-foot jumper, no, tipped out of bounds, touched last by Dan Liebem. So the Vikings will get the basketball back, 45 seconds remaining in the quarter. Privy, looping feed down to Siebold, cross court comes to Aird, he's open with a 12-footer there, and it's good, Paul Aird. 6th point here of the quarter. 16-14 by 2 Winnebago Lutheran.
The Vikings have now converted on 5 of the last 6 field goal attempts.
Hicks into the lane. They left Liebem wide open. He missed the bunny, and Paul Aird clears it. Leave it in the backcourt for Nate Pullman. Quickly working it back up court, knocked away and out of bounds.
18 seconds here to go in the first quarter.
And back into the ball game now is Jeff Wagner.
You would expect to see the Vikings look for one shot here.
Back in as well, Ben Needfeld, as Nate Pullman comes out for Winnebago Lutheran. And 18 seconds remaining in the quarter. Needfeld in 3-point land comes for John Supernan out between the 2 rings. 2-3 zone defense. Still by Sheboygan Lutheran.
Down to 8 seconds.
Supernan the near side. Here's the three-point try by Benji Neatfeld. Will knock it down. Kelmerton with the rebound. And the length of the court shot by Jimmy Johnson. No, and that'll be the end of the first quarter of action. And our score after 1 quarter of play, Winnebago Lutheran 16 and Sheboygan Lutheran 14. We'll be back after this on your WLA Viking Basketball Report.
United Auto Trim specializes in antique and classic car interior restoration. Custom upholstery for your auto, boat, or truck. Call them today at 923-1454 or stop in at United Auto Trim at 248 Morris Court. And brought to you in part today by Able Landscaping Service. For the do-it-yourself landscaper, they have everything you need from nursery stock to bedding rock. Stonework is their specialty. For professional landscape design, call them at 922-7835. Able Landscaping just south of Fond du Lac on Highway 175. And Call Insurance of Fond du Lac is your independent insurance agent. Because he works for himself, he works harder for you. Remember, when you need insurance, you need Bob Call. Call him today at 923-4020.
Second quarter of action about to get underway here from the field house at Winnebago Lutheran High. And the Vikings inbounding the basketball. Still against the 2-3 zone defense. Milkey to Neatfeld, posting up Aird. Turn around, 15-footer there, would knock it down. Paul Aird, oh, come on.
Ball number 15, Paul Aird, first personal.
You didn't see that one,
No,
did
I was
you?
looking down. You missed that.
I don't know if Shane got the tape back in, but on the replay, but if we could, to go back and take a look at that one, because that was not a good call at all. He called a wipe away, and the guy merely reached in and stole the basketball. There was no...
Now he's going to turn around and call this, I believe, on Belkey.
Yeah, I called this one on Belkey.
Number 44, John.
Second personal on John Belkey. And we'll shoot some more free throws.
Well, let me real quickly.
Of course, at the rate that...
No, okay, he turned it around. Offensive foul now.
well, who did he call it on?
Okay, he called it on Belkey.
He called it on Kelmerton then.
No,
He called-
he
he
gives
called-
him the ball. It can't be a Kelmerton.
Okay, he called it an offensive foul. I see what you're saying. Right.
Player control is what he did rather than being a shooting foul.
Wow. Out high is Hicks. On the near side, Johnson threw it away.
Let me give you those first quarter statistics before we get carried away. The Vikings 8 for 21 for 38%. 6 for 17 for the Crusaders, 35%. The Vikings double the rebound edge, 14-7. 2 turnovers for Winnebago. Sheboygan Lutheran with 3.
And Melky has it knocked away and out of bounds, but the Vikings will get it back underneath their own bucket. Dave Melky will do the honors on the inbounds feed. And loops it way outside for Nate Pullman. Now they post up to Melky, traveled.
Yep.
And it is going to go back once again to Sheboygan Lutheran. And again, the Vikings will come out and pressure full boat in the backcourt. They get it into Steve Hicks. Hicks races it up across the timeline. Yo-yo's the dribble there, off onto the left side for Pagorsh. Down low, the shot will not drop. The rebound away to Paul Aird. Gives it off here to Nate Pullman. Looping feet up across the timeline to John Belkey. Now they'll load it out. Nate Pullman. Here's Benji Neatfeld out of the coffin corner. And 18-footer there is gone by Ben Neatfeld. Neatfeld's first bucket of the game. Vikings' biggest lead of the game by 4 at 18-14. Hicks works out between the two circles and leaves there. Johnson airballed it. Rebound away to Aird, but tied up by Kelmerton, and it's going to go back to Sheboygan Lutheran. There's John Supernan going to come back into the basketball game. And Nate Pullman will take a breather. Wagner to do the honors on the inbounds feed. They come into Hicks. Rainbow jumper there is good. Mike Hicks, his first bucket of the game. He has 4 points.
Almost a carbon copy now. You see more pressure again put on by the Crusaders. Each team doing to them what was done.
Across the line, Belkey is fouled from behind. called this one on Mike Hicks. His first personal, that will be their third team.
Mike Hicks for his personal, third team foul by shooting 2.
Seems rather odd that that's only their third, and the Vikings already have 11 or 12.
Well,
Belke will go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. Got the first.
Lens Sales and Service, as well as Lens Leasing Incorporated, where nice cars are sold and serviced. They're located at the corner of South Military and Seymour Streets. That's Jerry Lynn's Sales and Service.
So Belke with one more here, and this one is also good. John Belke a pair from the free throw line. And here is Steve Schneider now back into the basketball game.
Not always the case, Dave, that you hear so often one team has 15 fouls, the other has 4 or whatever, and,
Right.
and that's not always indicative of poor officiating.
No,
you know.
no. I'm not.
I think sometimes that phrase or that situation is over extreme.
Got it down to Kelmerton, overlaid the hoop, rebound away to Steve Schneider. Ben Needfeld up court to Aird, running one in is good by Paul Aird.
Well, there's no doubt that the Vikings want to up-tempo this game as much as they can. The first quarter was some 21 or 20 shots attempted, a lot.
And again, here's Kelmerton on the backdoor side, and he'll lay it in.
44, Ryan Thomason.
Kelmerton's 10th point of this first half of action. Aird did not go to meet the basketball. Wagner with a steal, running one under no, got his own rebound and fouled by John Supernan. Supernan with his first personal.
Troy Siebold up off the Pines is going to check back in,
Foul number 32, John.
along with Nate Coleman for the Vikes.
I do think that a team that is a little bit scrappier, a la the Vikings, can be in a little bit of trouble with a set of officials like this, though, because those are the types of teams that they like to blow a lot of whistles on.
Because they anticipate a little bit more.
Yep.
Tonight's action is brought to you by Capelli Brothers and Dietrich, the general contractors serving the Fond du Lac and Fox River Valley area for over 40 years of quality commercial and industrial building construction.
Wagner, Jeff Wagner with a pair from the free throw line, and Lutheran, Sheboygan Lutheran closes back to within 2 at 22-20. And here is Melke out at the free throw line with a jumper there, would knock it out, and Pagorsh will clear it away. Looping feet across the timeline here to Johnson. Pagorsh back out hole high. Works down on Supernan's foot. Right into the hands of Dave Melke. 3-on-2 bust out. Melke fakes to the right, comes back to the left, and he'll go down and lay it in. Dave Melke's first bucket of the game, 24-20. Pagorsh back into the forecourt. To Johnson here to the left side sidewalk and down to the baseline. A traveling violation whistled there on Chris Lindow. Melke now is going to come out, and Matt Pullman will come in. 5:09 remaining, first half of action. And the ball bang free by Jeff Wagner will go back to Winnebago. Coming up to help out now, Troy Siebold. Nate Pullman across the timeline. Supernan all alone is Schneider.
Nicely done by the Vikings. They broke that pressure very well and got the numbers game. A quick 2-on-1, and ideally, as you should, first man takes it right to the basket and dishes off.
Got the double up. Here's Mike Hicks with it across the timeline. Mike Hicks out between the two rings, coming right down the lane. Blocking foul.
Matt Pullman, I believe, is going to get it.
Foul number 30, Matt Pullman.
That's the third personal on Matt Pullman.
21, Mike Hicks.
They're going to need everybody on that bunch tonight. Mike Hicks will go to the free throw line. He is 2 for 2 thus far. We'll shoot a 1+1 here. And gets the first. Yeah, rather interesting note that...
Come to the Fond du Lac Mosaic Tile Company for all your floor covering needs. Installed by our own professional craftsmen. Ceramic and quarry tile, slated marble, vinyl and carpeting. All ideal for new or remodeling installation. You were saying?
Rather interesting to note that the University of Wisconsin, knowing full well that Tony Bennett will not be at UWGB next year, turns around and signs a 2-year contract with those guys yesterday to play Green Bay the next year and the following year. You believe that one? And down low again is Steve Schneider. They find him all alone. His 10th point here. of the first half of action.
The Vikings are making mincemeat out of that press that's put on by Sheboygan Luther. And for Sheboygan, if they were smart right now, they get out of it because the Vikings do an excellent job of just dissecting it.
Smith out between the two rings, leaves there for Mike Hicks. And coming back around now, Pagor's looping feet, tried to come into the high post to Lindau, it's stolen away. Seabold leaves for Nate Pullman, quickly up court, Schneider, he traveled. But of course, that is the big question by the media right now is, was the University of Wisconsin afraid of Tony Bennett? That they did not put them on the schedule, because GB wanted to play him 2 years ago. Wanted to get him on the schedule at that time. They said no. Now that he's going to be gone, they say, yeah, it's okay. And the shot on the way here by Jeff Wagner would knock it down. Schneider with a rebound.
Troy Seabold with a good alter there, got up in the face.
Schneider had to change that shot. He's still got it to go. What, do you believe that, young man? Coming off the Pines, he has got 12 points here in the half. Quickly back up court. Here's Lindau all alone. Overlaid it. Rebound underneath to Jimmy Johnson, and he'll put it in. 30-24, 3:25 remaining. Both these teams want to go up and down the court, and now the Vikings are going to pull it up a little bit here. Nate Pullman on the near side is Supernan flashing through. Is Schneider going hard to the hoop. Shot won't drop, but a blocking foul. Going to be on Chris Lindau, I believe.
I believe you're right.
That's his first. Well, all kinds of interesting things taking place this weekend. An extremely big weekend for the Wisconsin Badger hockey team. For those hockey fans that we have out there, Schneider goes to the free throw line, gets the first. A two-game series with the Golden Rodents out of Minnesota. Or is it the Gophers? That's
That's about how much you like it.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right, Badgers back in.
Badger hockey team right now solid in second place. Even though they had a tough time of things up in Minnesota Duluth last weekend.
And overall having a real fine year.
Oh, yeah, they are. Of course, the Winter Olympics get underway this weekend, beginning on Saturday. Coming in the lane here now. Schmitz airballed it. Troy Seabold there with a rebound. Outlet pass comes to John Supernan. Tries to dump, does dump it inside here to Brian Ewert. They'll call for a jump ball. It goes back to Winnebago. 32-24. Vikings have pulled away to an 8-point lead. Looping feed from Pribby outside. Jackknife jumper ahead of the key by Ben Needfeld will not go down, and Mike Hicks clears. Using the pick in the backcourt, comes up, looking down towards the lane, now leaves it to the left side. Johnson there, free throw line extended jumper, no. Brian Ewert with a rebound. Outlet pass comes to Ben Needfeld. Up court to Supernan, pulls up 10 foot of the way, short front of the rim. Needfeld with the rebound. Off to Supernan, leaves it here for Seabold, off for the baseline, 17-footer no. As Ben Needfeld fights for it, but it comes away to Mark Schmitz. Quickly up court, here's Wagner underneath, double pumping, and it's good. Jeff Wagner's first bucket of the game, has 4 points on the evening, 2:05 remaining first half.
Feels like we're in the Summer Olympics here. It's like more like a track meet.
Yeah, I would say. Ewert flashing through on the baseline. Turnaround jumper is good. Brian Ewert's first bucket of the game. 8-point lead again. Down court all alone is Wagner. Oh my.
Is this what they call up-tempo?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, there's been one good thing about it. The officials haven't been able to keep up and down the court with it. They haven't blown the whistles, but Ewert. And this one's stolen away. Well, they're going to call a foul there on Brian Ewert, apparently.
Yep.
Ewert with his second personal.
Number 40, Brian Ewert, second personal at the line.
Tomorrow night, high school hockey action as the Fond du Lac Cardinals play host to the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove. And we'll have that one for you at 10:30 here on the Star Channel. Paul Aird comes back in. Troy Seabold will take a break.
And once again, we remind you, a week from tomorrow night, we'll have high school basketball, but the key, of course, in that game is we're moving for a night.
Just for that night, we will be on channel 33.
With the Nina Rockets and the Fond du Lac Cardinals?
Right. One night and one night only. We'll be right back on the normal Star channel on channel 21 the very next day. So Friday night, the 14th, Valentine's Day. Remember it that way, I guess. We will be on channel 33. That's because of the Rod Stewart concert, which will be on the Star channel that evening. So, back up court, here's Ewert down low as he comes in with a baby skyhook and put it in.
Pretty good, strong move by Ewert there. Positioned himself and took as much time as he needed to get that skyhook up.
Off of the baseline, they come here to Johnson, coming down to Calmerton. Calmerton's turnaround bank jumper would knock it out. Rebound away to Liebem, and they have that shot blocked by Ewert. Aird clears it. Nate Pullman quickly up court. Leaves it out for Aird. 16-footers on the way. Good. Well, I tell you, he's just got a nice touch. 10th point of the basketball game for Paul Aird. On the near side, Mark Schmitz. And the bank jumper there would knock it out. Calmerton again had the shot blocked. Rebound to Ewert, but tied up. And it will go back to Sheboygan Lutheran. .36 seconds remaining here in the half. 38-28 by 10, Winnebago Lutheran. Looping feed into Calmerton.
Prevey, I believe.
Well, Kevin Privy will pick up the personal foul. And Calmerton will go to the line. Ryan Calmerton 0 for 2 thus far. He will shoot a pair. And Honeycomb's the first one down. He'll get one more.
Consultants Laboratory of Wisconsin, Incorporated, with convenient locations in Fond du Lac and Appleton, serving physicians, hospitals, clinics, and veterinarians with quality laboratory testing. For further information, call 929-1580.
Calmerton missed the second. Paul Aird had the rebound. A little bumping and banging there. They'll call the traveling violation on Paul Aird. So Sheboygan Lutheran will get it back again. And looping feed was...
Going right straight out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that Sheboygan Lutheran thought that somewhere along the line that had been touched by one of the Vikings. Here's Scott Como, a senior forward now, into the basketball game for Winnebago. Got it down low on the block to Como, and he traveled the ball.
Ninth turnover of the game for Winnebago.
The Vikings pressuring here again in the back. Offensive foul.
Oh, no.
Well, they're going to call a blocking foul on Kevin Privy. You could not have... Now, wait a minute. They did call the offensive foul. He did not signal it that way at all.
But he didn't point to him either.
And he pointed right at Privy. Did not signal an offensive foul, and it was... but that is the way he called it.
Well, he got it right anyway.
Yeah, Aird off the baseline. 10-footer there, no. And back to Winnebago. 13 seconds remaining here in the half. Privy got it in here to Paul Aird. Turnaround jumper off the glass would knock it down. Rebound in the lane to Como. And could not find the handle on it. It's picked up now by Jimmy Johnson. Quickly up court. Comes to North. They won't get a shot away, and that's going to be the end of the half. And our score here at halftime is Winnebago Lutheran 38 and Sheboygan Lutheran 29. We'll be back after this on your WLA Viking Basketball Report.
Visit the unique kitchen and bathroom showroom at Classic Kitchens, featuring Woodmode, Brookhaven, and Marillac cabinets. For free estimates, personal designs, and installation, call 922-9323. Classic Kitchens, located at Highways 23 and 41 on the West Frontage Road. the team outfitting center in Fond du Lac is Team Sports, specializing in the custom fitting of your team. Also offering area high school outerwear, that's Jack Francis's Team Sports across Veterans Park and downtown Fond du Lac. Dean's Dodge, the little dealer that cares. For new and used cars, trucks, leasing, service, and parts, come to Dean's Dodge, located 2 blocks north of the Holiday Inn on the West Frontage Road. When your insurance needs start becoming confusing, why not turn to the professionals that will give you the straight talk, the Call Insurance Team. They're an independent agency with a hometown attitude, and because Bob Call works for himself, he'll work harder for you. Call Insurance, the hometown agency, now at 25 North Main in Fond du Lac. Insurance without all the theatrics. Well, maybe just a little.
This Valentine's night, stay home and I'll bring the party to you.
Rod Stewart. February 14th, live on pay-per-view. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. From the Universal Amphitheater in Los Angeles, straight to you in your home. Rod Stewart live.
I'll see you on Valentine's night on pay-per-view.
Valentine Vagabond. See it live or the encore performance.
And once again, welcome back to the field house on the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy, where you see the score. The Vikings 38, the Sheboygan Lutheran Crusaders 29. Very up-tempo game here in the first half of action, as we'll take a look at the stats for the first half. Each team throwing up a high number of shots in the first half. The Vikings, first of all, are 17 for 37, 46% from the field, as compared to the Crusaders throwing up 34 shots, connecting at 11 for 32%. Winnebago 100% at the charity stripe on 4 attempts, only 50% for the Crusaders. They are 6 for 12. The Vikings dominating the boards 23-16, and each team with 9 first half turnovers. Take a look at the leading scorers here in the first half for each team. And for WLA, the leaders, Schneider coming in with 14 points and Aird with 10 for Winnebago. 2 players in double figures. For the Sheboygan Area Lutheran High School Crusaders, they are led by Calmerton with 11 points in the first half, and Wagner with 6. And Dave and I will be right back for the second half of action right after this message on your Winnebago Lutheran Academy basketball report.
Marine Credit Union with 3 offices to serve all your financial needs. They're available to anyone living or working in the Fond du Lac County or the townships of Leroy, Lamira, Chester, and Trenton in Dodge County. Student loans are available. That's the Marine Credit Union, member NCUA. And Lens Sales and Service and Lens Leasing Incorporated, where nice cars are sold and serviced. They're at 724 South Military Road. That's Jerry Lens Sales and Service in Fond du Lac. Capelli Brothers and Diedrich, the general contractors, serving the Fond du Lac and Fox River Valley area for over 40 years in quality commercial and industrial building construction. Capelli Brothers and Diedrich.
Second half of action about to get underway here from the field house at Winnebago Lutheran High. Fans haven't even made it back into the stands yet. Still out getting popcorn. Boy, they've...
I gotta check. Is Ralph back? You know, probably there's no popcorn left out there.
Right. Here's Needfeld off of the baseline. Airballed it. Belke with a tap. No, and Calmerton will clear it. 38-29 score. By 9, Winnebago Lutheran. Well, get back into that run and shoot basketball game there.
Oh, nice. Inside dish off. Great feed by Hicks inside the Wagner.
Wagner's 8th point of the basketball game. And Nate Pullman carried. They don't call. Here is Needfeld around to the right side. Wraparound steal attempt and a foul will be whistled on Mark Schmitz. His first personal, the first team.
Foul number 15, Mark Schmitz, second personal, first team foul.
38-31 basketball game, and Dave Melke finally gets a loop in here to Benji Needfeld. Needfeld off for the baseline. Here's Melke's 18-footer there, would knock it down. Aired with the rebound. He missed the shot and then is fouled. And that one's going to go on Wagner. Jeff Wagner's first personal, second team. This one could very well be a shooting foul, however. It's not going to be okay.
Call it before.
So again, the Vikings will inbound the basketball, leading it here by 7. Aired. Pullman, they post up to Belke, splits it off low here to Benji Needfeld. The running lane is caught by Ben.
Needfeld got to the baseline, able to take it right to the basket from there and lays it off the glass.
Dave Melke right there on the inbounds feed to tap it again out of bounds. Boy, he is very active defensively. Did a heck of a job the other night on Don Horn of St. Mary Springs. Really had him pretty well frustrated. Hicks coming in the lane, leaves it off. Calmerton running one-hander. Honeycombed out. Rebound to Belke. Going to call a foul on Nate Pullman? No. Yes.
Or Belke. Yep.
John Belke.
Foul number 44, John Belke, his third personal.
Third personal there on Belke, the first team. And the Crusaders inbound. Jimmy Johnson had to change his shot there. Rebound away to Dave Melke. Melke pressure to the backcourt. Lead feed. Had to get it off here to Aird. Running one-hander, no. And he pulled up a little short there. You're not going to see him do that too often. Aird usually pretty sure under the bucket. Inbounds here to Ben Needfeld. Bring it back out, now down to the baseline. Belke pulls up their 10-footer, would knock it down. Got his own rebound, though. Look, lost it off the toe. And picked up by Mark Schmitz. Leave it for Mike Hicks. He'll bring it back up. Hicks between the two rings. Off onto the right side sidewalk now. Posting up here is Calmerton. Back to Johnson. Swinging off to Mark Schmitz. And sliding down in the lane was Hicks. The ball stolen free. And picked up by Pullman. Down to Ben Needfeld. Running one-hander. No. Had to change his shot on the way up. And Jim Johnson clears it away. 4-on-2 bust out. Jimmy Johnson right down the lane, and he'll lay it in.
Well, obviously at halftime, neither team felt that they didn't have to, or they should get out of their running style of offense, because the up-tempo has continued here in the second half.
Well, and for the Vikings, they're leading. There's really no reason to change that. And Aird just barely got a piece of the backboard on that one. So here come the Crusaders back up once again. Got a pick from Hicks. Johnson feeds down low on the baseline. Calmerton cannot hit the shot, and Paul Aird clears it away. Nate Pullman quickly back into the forecourt. Well, you got to use the whole bench, though, this kind of tempo, huh?
I like up-tempo basketball. The thing is, you have to have headsy players to play that game, because you have to know when to take the shot, when to go with it, and when to back it off. You know, too many players, I think, sometimes feel up-tempo means get down and get a shot up, and that's not the case. You still want to get a good quality shot. You don't shoot just for the sake of having the ball across half court.
Ryan Berger, a 6-foot senior, has come into the ball game.
Oh, that's nice.
Lutheran, and Dave Melke goes around down low, and with a reverse layup, he put it in.
Oh, that was pretty. He went behind the backboard, then reversed the hand with the left hand from the back side and put it up. That was nice.
42-33 score by 9. The WLA Vikings. Jeff Wagner inbounding here to Hicks. Bump bang, tried to come down low post to Calmerton. Splits it back out to Hicks. Coffin corner three-point shot there would knock it down. Calmerton knocked it out of bounds. So the basketball will go back to Winnebago Lutheran. And Melke waits for Paul Aird to come back and help out. Melke quickly back into the forecourt, kicked away and out of bounds. Got a comment again on the PA system that they installed here at Winnebago. It is, boy, it is terrific.
Yes, it is.
Outside, here's Melke, three-point try there, short front of the rim. Aird with the rebound, goes up, short off the front. And cleared away by Jeff Wagner. talk about when we get a little bit of a chance here. Hicks coming in the lane and a foul. And
Dave Melke, maybe?
Yep. Dave Melke, his third personal, the second team. Steve Schneider will come in. John Belke will come out. Just crystal clear as a bell. And with the complete equalizer on it, whole ball wax, so they can really adjust the tone. Great system. Down off of the baseline, Kelmerton honeycombs one in. 13th point of the ball game for Brian Kelmerton.
And a good thought process behind it too when they set it up. They got some outlets up here for us to plug into it.
We can plug right into the thing and get the feed from them for starting lineups, that type of thing, music even. As the shot there by Nate Pullman would not go down. And working it back up court comes Mike Hicks.
One thing about Winnebago, Dave, when they do things here, they usually do it right.
Yeah, and they think about it. When they set the entire thing up upstairs, they came to the radio stations, came to us, said, what do you need to work out of up there? Here's Mike Hicks outside, and he put it in the 17-footer.
That's an old Johnny Mack rainbow shot. That maybe has some arc to it.
They have for visiting radio stations, folks, they have a permanent line installed up here. It is just simply an extension line off of one of the school's phone lines. So when the visiting radio station comes in, they just need to plug into it, make a collect call back to their station, and are on the air. One of the major expenses of any kind of radio broadcasting nowadays is just getting the telephone line installed. Unfortunately, I don't know as though they have a whole heck of a lot of out-of-town stations coming in here, but boy, it sure is feasible. And it was very simple to do. Hicks back up court, and Matt Pullman's going to get the foul.
Yeah, that's that four.
That's his fourth. Matt Pullman with his fourth personal foul. Third team here of the half.
And quietly, the Crusaders have crawled back to
they're within 5
again. After trailing it by as many as 11, I know for sure.
So Kevin Preby will come in. Here's Mark Spitz with a jackknife jumper there. Hard off the glass, would not drop, and Steve Schneider clears it. Quickly up court, Supernan, Preby. Here's Supernan to the left side sidewalk. Right back to Kevin Preby. Circle high to the left side again is Supernan. Leaves it off for Ben Needfeld. Needfeld now going to pop that three-pointer off the front of the rim. No. Troy Siebold with the rebound. Pops it back out to the free throw line of the high post for Privy, and they reload the basketball again.
One area that the Vikings have been excellent tonight is on the offensive glass, and they've had numerous offensive rebounds.
Here's Supernan. Pulls up free throw line extended. Cross court now to Needfeld. Works it down on the baseline against the zone defense. As they come back cross court, Privy down on the baseline, Schneider outside. Here is Supernan. Free throw line extended jumper would not drop. Siebold fights to get, but the rebound cleared away by Liebem. And Mike Hicks will bring it back up. Hicks, an outstanding ball handler, Mike.
Yes, he is.
I'm surprised that he did not start this basketball game. And coming in off of the left side is Jeff Wagner to lay it in. And we're going to get a timeout right there. They have crawled back to within 3. We'll get a timeout taken here by head coach Larry Klukas. 2 minutes and 3 seconds remain to be played here in the third quarter of action. Timeout on the court. Winnebago still leads it, but it's down to 3. It's 42-39.
And tonight's action is brought to you by the Karras Car Company, wishing the best of luck to all area teams. For the finest automobiles and service after the sale, stop at the Karras Car Company, 411 North Main. Along with Manowski Welding of Fond du Lac for quality welding and fabricating of steel, aluminum, or stainless steel. Anytime or anywhere, whether it's structural or ornamental, Manowski should be your steel fabricator. And Felder Chevrolet of St. Cloud has been serving the community for over 50 years, featuring Chevrolet and Geo cars and trucks, Mercury outboards, and Articat snowmobiles. Service after the sale is their #1 priority. Stop it today at Felder Chevrolet, 1201 Main Street in St. Cloud. Members of our Video Sports Boosters. The future Viking and toddler there?
Oh, yeah.
Won't be long.
2 minutes and 3 seconds remain to be played. And the Vikings will bring the basketball back up. See if they made any changes during that timeout. They did not. As they post up here now, Troy Siebold with the basketball. And a reach-in foul apparently going to be called on Mike Hicks.
I believe you're right. Yep.
You got to look around and try and find the guy who was closest to the action. It doesn't necessarily mean that he did anything.
Well, let's not pick at him.
It was just there. Well, Needfeld out between the two rings. I haven't even begun to pick yet. Off of the baseline is John Supernan, and he'll hit it. Supernan's first bucket of the game, 44-39.
That breaks the string of 6 consecutive misses for the Vikings.
I was going to try and figure out how many points they had broke a string of how many in a row by or unanswered points by Sheboygan Lutheran. As Wagner checked that Liebem misses off of the baseline, but a steal here now by Hicks, double pumping, slapped away by Troy Siebold. And John Supernan will bring it back up. Needfeld. Post up here to Siebold off of the baseline. Supernan dumps it into Schneider. Running one-hander there will knock it down. And the rebound cleared away by Liebem. Quickly up court again. Hicks takes it down to the baseline. Shot will not drop from 10. And a foul in the backcourt is called there on Dan Liebem.
57 seconds here in the third quarter. Still a 5-point lead for the Vikings.
4th team foul there. We got our new TD working there now?
I'm not sure who's down there now.
Off on the baseline here. Shot on the way by Supernan. He's hot. John Supernan, second bucket in a row. 46-39, again by 7. Winnebago Lutheran, 35 seconds to go here in the quarter. And Mike Hicks back into the forecourt, knocked away and out of bounds. Kind of aiming for Phil down there, it looked like.
He's still with us.
And all alone on the backdoor feed is Mike Hicks, and he'll lay it in.
We got caught with the heads turned right there. Didn't keep an eye on that man breaking from the high post straight down.
Within 5 again, Sheboygan Lutheran at 46-41. Pribby, high post, Siebold splits it off to the weak side to John Supernan. Back over very quickly there to cover up. Here's Needfeld around to the left side again. Pribby, high post, Siebold, turn around 15-footer there, no. Supernan with the rebound, put it in. John Supernan at the buzzer. That'll be the end of the third quarter of action. And our score after 3, it is Winnebago Lutheran Academy 48 and Sheboygan Lutheran 41. We'll be back with the final 8 after this on your WLA Viking Basketball Report.
Come to Fond du Lac Mosaic Tile for all your floor covering needs. Installed by their own professional craftsmen, ceramic and quarry tile, slate and marble, vinyl and carpeting. Ideal for new or remodeling installation. That's Fond du Lac Mosaic Tile. And Consultants Laboratory of Wisconsin Incorporated, with convenient locations in Fond du Lac and Appleton, serving physicians, hospitals, clinics, and veterinarians with quality laboratory testing. For further information, call 929-1580 or 1-800-826-1580. And the Karras Car Company of Fond du Lac wishes the best of luck to all area teams. For the finest automobiles and service after the sale, stop at Karras Car Company today at 411 North Main Street in Fond du Lac.
Final 8 minutes of action here in regulation play from the field house at Winnebago Lutheran. Mike.
Real quickly, the Cardinals, not a good shooting quarter.
The Vikings.
Vikings running. I'm sorry. 5 for 21, 24%. 6 for 13 for the Crusaders, 46%. The Cardinals have the board edge, 11 to 8. Can I say it again?
Yeah.
The Vikings have the board edge, 11 to 8. 2 turnovers for each team.
I hope you're not whammying those guys for tomorrow night here, given their stats already. Jeez. Pressure applied here in the back twice in one
series. Habits.
Off on the left side, Ben Needfeld. You used to tell me that only happened when you did 2 teams who were both from the area.
Oh, we got one from the area here.
Supernan off of the baseline. That one honeycombed out. And a foul in the backcourt. Going to go on Steve Schneider, I believe. No, Dave Milkey. Dave Milkey's fourth personal, fourth team foul. Larry Klukas has yet to make a move on the bench to get him out.
He's glanced down the bench, but has not made a move.
And quickly back up court with the basketball coming in the lane here is Gary Schellack. And missed that shot. Needfeld, with the line, jumper on the way, and he hit it off the glass.
High archer to the high portion of glass. That's a tough shot. Got to have a nice touch on it.
Sixth point of the basketball. Well, those smaller guys are pretty adept at doing that. I think they get used to it, you know. And up off the Pines now is Nate Pullman back into the ball game. Dave Melke, nope, they're going to leave Melke in. Benji Needfeld will come out. Melke playing with 4 personal fouls. 50-41. By 9 here, Winnebago Lutheran. And 6:52 remaining. John Supernan off of the baseline and flashing down with Schneider, missed the shot. Rebound away underneath to Dan Liebem. And Jimmy Johnson will rush it back into the forecourt. Johnson back up between the two rings as they come off here now to Gary Schellack. Schellack back out to Calmerton, and a 15-footer there, no. Rebound to Siebold. Outlet pass comes up to Melke. Melke on the tricky dribble, brings it back out to Supernan between the two circles, and now Dave Melke will come up hole high. Pulls up at the free throw line, dishes off there for Pullman. Now going to take the shot. Here's Melke, and he hit it. Dave Melke, that's his 6th point of the basketball game, 52-41. By 11, the Vikings. And back up court is Ryan Berger. Well, for whatever reason, is we're going to go on Supernan. Siebold. You're right. Troy Siebold's first personal, 5th team. Kind of interesting that Paul Kuiper, the head coach for Sheboygan Lutheran, somewhere along the line there in the 3rd quarter, middle of the 3rd quarter or so, brought in Ryan Berger, whom we had not seen at all in the first half of action. And right at the start here of the 4th quarter, comes back with 6'1" senior Gary Schellack, who had not played at all here in the first half, or had not played in the game at all. It's unusual at this point in time of the game when you're still in the basketball game that you're just now bringing these kids in. Schellack here with his first personal, 5th team, but it will send Nate Pullman to the free throw line to shoot a pair, and he missed the first.
Let the team spirit of Hometown Realty go to work for you, where our customers are always number 1. Call for a free market analysis at 923-7800. That's Hometown Realty.
And Nate Pullman comes back and gets the second. It's a 12-point lead at 53-41 for Winnebago Lutheran. Outside shot on the way there by Berger, would not drop. Pressured in the backcourt here is Supernan. They work it up to Dave Melke. Melke to the right side sidewalk, flashing through Siebold, 14-footer in the lane, and the paint there would knock it out. The one back hard was Nate Pullman, but fouled by Kelmerton. Kelmerton's first personal, the 6th team.
Number 44.
And Ben Needfeld back up off the Pines to come back in. And we are going to get a timeout taken here. Timeout taken by Paul Kuiper. 5 minutes, 22 seconds remain to be played in regulation play of this basketball game. Timeout on the court. Vikings lead it 53-41.
United Auto Trim, specializing in antique and classic car interior restoration. Custom upholstery for your auto, boat, or truck. Call them today at 923-1454 or stop in at United Auto Trim, 248 Morris Court. Able Landscaping Service for the do-it-yourself landscaper. They have everything you need from nursery stock to bedding rock. Stonework is their specialty. For professional landscape design, Call them today at 922-7835. That's Able Landscaping, just south of Fond du Lac on Highway 175. And Call Insurance of Fond du Lac is your independent insurance agent. Because he works for himself, he works harder for you. Remember, when you need insurance, you need Bob Call. Give a call today at 923-4020. Members of our Video Sports Boosters.
5 minutes and 22 seconds remain to be played here in this basketball game. Reminder that we'll have high school hockey action for you tomorrow night. The Fond du Lac Cardinals play host to the Monona Grove Silver Eagles. And 8 p.m. face-off time, the replay here on the Star Channel at 10:30. Next Monday night, collegiate basketball action. Should be a real dandy. Ripon College comes to town to take on the Sabres at the Sadoff Gymnasium on the campus of Marion College. 7:30 with the tip-off time. We'll have the replay at 10:30. Nate Pullman hits the first, misses the second. 54-41 by 13. The Vikings. And a blocking foul going to be called here on Nate Pullman. Nate Pullman's second personal, sixth team.
Well, Pullman had a little chance there. He tried to fight through a pick because he didn't know a pick was there to start with. That's the responsibility of his teammates to let him know that's coming. Coach Paul Kuiper, you need that timeout badly here, trying to get the offense cooking in the fourth quarter thus far. They are 0 for 5 from the field.
But at the same time, then, why has, well, the group that brought him back into the basketball game, 3 of them right now are on the bench.
Right.
You don't quite understand that, especially Hicks. So coming in the lane here is Melky, running one-hander there, will knock it down. Rebound down and away to Dan Liebem. And Jimmy Johnson must have heard me. Here comes Hicks back into the game. Jimmy Johnson brings it back up court.
Okay,
out of the right side.
I don't know if that's a factor.
Shalak running one-hander is good. What?
I really doubt that was a factor, whether or not he heard you.
I doubt if he did. It was mental telepathy. Jeez. Round to the right side, Nate Pullman. 54-43 basketball game. Cross-court feed by Nate is stolen away. And Liebem leaves it here for Johnson. Bucket is good, and the foul is going to be on Troy Seabold.
Yeah, and Troy, we had the angle on that one, David. That was anticipation. It looked like he fouled him because of the off-balance shot, and he went to the floor, but Troy never touched him.
No. Got a little bit of a piece of the basketball on the initial pump. Jimmy Johnson's going to go to the free throw line. Hicks is back in, and Ryan Berger comes out. And we're also going to get a timeout now taken by Winnebago Lutheran Academy. 4 minutes, 24 seconds remain to be played in this basketball game. Timeout on the court. Vikings lead it by 9 at 54-45.
Visit the unique kitchen and bathroom showroom at Classic Kitchens, featuring wood mode, Brookhaven, and Miralac cabinets. For free estimates, personal designs, and installation, call 922-9323. Classic Kitchens, located on Highways 23 and 41. They're on the frontage road. And the Team Outfitting Center in Fond du Lac is Team Sports of Downtown Fondy, specializing in the custom fitting of your team. Also offering area high school outerwear. That is Jack Francis' Team Sports across from Fetchers Park, downtown Fond du Lac. And Dean's Dodge, the little dealer that cares. For new and used tires, trucks, leasing, service, and parts, come to Dean's Dodge, located 2 blocks just north of the Holiday Inn on the West Frontage Road. All members of our Video Sports Boosters.
4 minutes and 24 seconds remain to be played in this basketball game. Winnebago's lead has been cut back to 9 once again. And Jimmy Johnson will have a chance to cut it to within 8.
Shooting is Jim Johnson.
Vikings back on the court here. Benji Needfeld and Dave Melky in the backcourt. John Supernan, Seabolt, and Steve Schneider. And Johnson with nothing but net. And Sheboygan Lutheran back to within 8 once again. Paul Aird back up off the pines to come back in for Winnebago. Melky down to the baseline here. Schneider running one-hander, and it's good. Steve Schneider, that's his 16th point of the ball game. His first bucket here in the second half, and a steal by Schneider in the backcourt. Well, in the Vikings backcourt. Melky posting up now. Seabolt tried to split it down low to Schneider, and ball stolen away there by Gary Shalek. So Mike Hicks works it out between the two rings, round to the right side. Johnson. Here's Shellick now, out hole high once again. Shellick looks down there on Dave Melke. Now they get it down low to Liebem. The ball banked free, but Liebem saves from going OB. Reloads it down the low post now. Calmerton finger rolled this one in. Brian Calmerton with his 15th point of the ball game, 56-48.
After opening up the quarter with 5 straight misses, now the Crusaders have come back to connect on 3 in a row.
Needfeld, high post. Here's Seabolt going right down the lane, slapped away by Hicks, but he's going to get the foul.
I believe they'll call this a shooting foul.
Looked to me like Hicks really had all ball on that, but we'll take the benefit of the doubt. Either way, you're going to shoot this. Don't know yet if it is. You think it is going to be a pair?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got to be.
So Troy Seabolt will go to the free throw line, scoreless thus far in the basketball game, to shoot a pair here and miss the first. Vikings the other night did not shoot at all well from the free throw line. Hit on, I believe, something in the neighborhood of 50% for the game. Yeah, 58% for the game. And Seabolt here gets the second.
As Paul Airchek's back in.
And Troy Seabolt comes out. Pressure again applied just on the inbound speed by the Vikings. Hicks leads to the near side for Shellick. As they dump it back out here and knocked away out of bounds. We'll go back to Sheboygan Lutheran. Hicks, high corner here to the near side. Played by Dave Melke, pulls up, 3-point try is good by Mike Hicks.
That's 4 in a row now.
Mike Hicks, his 12th point of the basketball game. They are within 6 at 57-51, 2:45 remaining. Supernan to the near side.
Jump ball's going to be called. They'll stay out of possession arrow with the Vikings.
Did Hicks reach in and get a piece of that, or were they? Okay.
Ooh.
And knocked away and out of bounds.
Tough pass to make that far. You know, you've got guys that are a lot closer. You'd like to make that pass too, rather than throwing it in a very vulnerable spot on the court. If that is intercepted, he's gone for a layup.
So, Vikings will inbound near the midcourt stripe, and they loop it back into the backcourt, and Ben Needfeld brings it back up. Benji to the near side. Melke got it down low. Schneider running. Good foul! Foul's going to be on Dan Liebem. And Steve Schneider, that was his 18th point of the basketball game.
Schneider has had a whale of a game tonight, but none of his buckets have been any bigger and any more prettier than that one was. That was a tough effort.
And cannot complete the 3-point play, however. Jimmy Johnson works it ahead for Mike Hicks. Hicks around to the right side, dumps it back out for Johnson. Lift the post up to Calmerton and aired there with a reach-in foul. And that will send Calmerton to the free throw line with a 1+1. He is only 1 of 4 in the ball game.
And you don't like to commit fouls any more than you have to for the Vikings at this point. With an 8-point lead, you don't want to allow the visiting team, in this case the Crusaders, to come in and score points if that clock stopped.
Next Tuesday night, high school basketball action. The St. Mary Springs Ledgers play host to the Lancers of Manitowoc Lutheran. Calmerton gets the first one here.
And as you mentioned, on Monday night, we'll have the collegiate game. You see there, the Sabres and the Redmen. Should be a very interesting one.
Replay at 10 o'clock. I think I might have earlier misled you. I might have said 10:30. That's not the case. Will be a 10 o'clock replay. Supernet, cross court. Paul Aird, shot there, will not drop. Calmerton with the rebound, foul in the backcourt. On Dave Melke, and he's all done. Dave Melke has just fouled out of the basketball game. And Matt Pullman will come in. He also with 4 personals. 2:07 remain to be played, and definitely not out of the fire here yet, by any means. To the free throw line goes Kelmerton, and Ryan Kelmerton gets the first. Back again to within 6. They can close to within 5. Silver Eagles and the Fond du Lac Cardinals hockey tomorrow night, 10:30 replay. Pressure applied in the backcourt. It's 59-54, and the clock a little slow and starting now with 2 minutes remaining. And off of the baseline, Superman shot there would not go down, tapped out, way out. Here's Jimmy Johnson back up court, and they're going to call a reach-in foul on John Superman. Supernan's second personal. This will send Jimmy Johnson to the free throw line. He is 1 for 1 and will shoot a 1+1 here.
And a chance to draw them to within 3.
Johnson gets 1. If he does hit this, look for Larry Klukas to get a timeout. They're within 4 with 1:53 remaining. Jimmy Johnson's second is good. And no move there by Larry.
I don't think so.
59-56. 1:50 remaining as Ben Neatfeld brings it back into the forecourt. Superman around to the left side. The foul there is going to be on Hicks reaching in. Mike Hicks has picked up his 4th.
Ryan Berger is going to check in for the Crusaders.
At the line, shooting number 32, John Superman.
And Mark Schmitz will come out. To the free throw line goes John Superman. Has 6 points on the night. His first trip to the free throw line here. And on the way with the first, he missed the front half. But the rebound tapped into the hands of Matt Pullman. Could not put the shot down. And Paul Aird clears it away and brings it back out. Smart move there by the junior.
Yes, indeed.
And here's the shot in the lane. Matt Pullman missed it. Rebound away to Aird. Won't drop, but a foul. Calmerton is going to pick up the personal. Nope.
That was a big rebound off of that missed free throw. Again, free throw so important to make at this point of a game. Once again, it'll be Aird this time to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Labam with the personal there. Paul Aird missed the front half.
Gotta have these. It's a 3-point game, 59-56. Exactly 90 seconds left in the game.
And Aird's second is good. By 4, Winnebago Lutheran. And the pressure, lead feed to Jimmy Johnson. Comes down, Calmerton, fouled by Aird. Aird's third.
Nice move by Kelmerton. He took that lob feed and faked as if he was going right to the basket on the feed on an alley-oop type situation, but he got Aird up in the air that way by faking the shot, came down, then went up in the air and got the foul.
Mark Schmitz is back in for Sheboygan Lutheran as Ryan Berger comes out. Here's Kelmerton to the free throw line. Missed the front half. He will get one more. Second one is good. 60-57. Again, Sheboygan Lutheran within 3. And John Superman rushes it up into the forecourt, and Hicks is just fouled out of the game.
That was a pretty foolish foul by Hicks. He was bumping and banging all the way down. Really no need for that. You're not going to accomplish anything at that point in the field, or the court.
Mike Hicks fouls out of the basketball game with 12 points on the night. And leaves with 1:22 remaining.
And Coach Paul Kipper is going to use his 45 seconds allotted here to take a quick timeout, more or less.
He might as well.
Oh, sure. You're foolish not to use it. You've got it, 45 seconds to use. All you have to do is make sure that he's reported by the 45-second clock, and he is now.
For the Crusaders, number 23, Ryan Berger.
So to the free throw line will go John Supernan. Ryan Berger comes back in. Supernan 0 for 1 from the line. He'll shoot a 1+1. And boy, important to get the front half of this thing to go down. On the way, good. So Supernan will shoot one more. 1:22 left. Missing the second half, so chance to cut to within 2, and here's Jimmy Johnson down court cheating on the break. The bucket is good, and the foul on Supernan. Jimmy Johnson's bucket is good. John Supernan with a foul, and Johnson can draw them to within 1.
Yeah, that's a good job of transition on the part of the Sheboygan. You know, they got that rebound, got the ball out quickly, and they had a one-on-one situation. Supernan not able to establish that position back there quick enough to draw the charge.
Johnson 3 for 3, and Sheboygan Lutheran is within 1 point.
Now, oddly enough, Dave, in this quarter, Sheboygan Lutheran missed the first 5 attempts to the field and now hit the next 5.
And Supernan will work it back up.
Well, it's getting pretty late. We should call it a night. Yeah.
2 rings, Ricci and foul there on Jimmy Johnson.
Well, they're continually sending us to the free throw line, but what we're doing is making about an average lately of 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 3, and you can't do that. You've got to hit keeper watch another time on here.
The Vikings have hit on just 5 of 12 here from the line in the 4th quarter, and we're going to get a timeout taken by Sheboygan Lutheran. 1 minute and 5 seconds remain to be played in this basketball game in regulation play. Timeout on the court. Vikings lead it 61-60.
Tonight's action, as always, is brought to you by all of our Video Sports Boosters. One of which is United Auto Trim, specializing in antique and classic car interior restoration. Custom upholstery for your auto, boat, or truck. Call them today at 923-1454 or stop in at United Auto Trim, 248 Morris Court. And Able Landscaping Service for the do-it-yourself landscaper. They have everything you need from nursery stock to bedding rock. Stonework is their specialty. For professional landscape design, call them at 922-7835. That is Able Landscape Service, just south of Fond du Lac. They're on Highway 175. Members of our Video Sports Boosters.
1 minute and 5 seconds remain to be played in this basketball game. The Vikings kind of on the hot seat here as John Supernan, who is 1 of 3, will go to the line with a 1+1. Let's see, Nate Pullman has come back into the ball game now for Winnebago as John Supernan knocks down the first one.
Yeah, that's a big one coming out of that timeout. You had a little deep freeze put on you, time to think about it, and the fact that we're not shooting free throws well, it works on your mind.
Supernan second, good.
Those are big ones.
John Supernan with a pair from the line at 63-60, Winnebago Lutheran. And the backup court, here's Ryan Berger around to the right side. And they're popping up now. Schmidt's got it down low to Calverton. His running one-hitter is good. They're back to within 1 again. 50 seconds remain to be played. Benji Needfeld works on Berger in the backcourt. Runs it up into the forecourt. Circle free throw line extended. Aired there with a shot. Missed. And the rebound away to Liebem.
Not sure we wanted that shot from Aired out there. Yeah, he's a big 6'5" boy.
He can hit that shot, but question why he took it at that time. And coming in the lane, Ryan Berger's got it. Wow.
And they've taken the lead.
First lead since they led it at 6-4.
15 seconds, 13 seconds.
Outside, here is Supernan, hole high. Benji Needfeld. Needfeld coming to the lane, 14. Clear by go! Ben Needfeld in a timeout. "3 seconds remaining.
They may add.
Are they going to add a second here? I really don't, Mike. I looked very quickly at the clock as that shot went down, and the clock was going from 4 to 3. I can't imagine that they had gotten that timeout called that quickly.
No, I would have to agree with you. We'll see what they're going to do. But what a big shot by Neufeld, Dave. I was a little bit surprised there.
Shot, no doubt about it.
I tell you got to give Larry Klukas' troops a lot of credit because he knew that their guys were composed. They had the poise to just go out and play that. You would expect a timeout. I was surprised they didn't take one with about 15 seconds to go. Coach Klukas decided to let them go, let them play it as they are. If they're well coached, they should be handling the situation. They did. They came up with a very good shot by Neufeld. He drills it, and now he's got to play some solid defense here for 3 seconds.
Well, probably their best shooter is out of the basketball game, the outside shooter at any rate, that being Mike Hicks.
Well, let's hope that the trend has stopped right now because, as I mentioned, the Crusaders missed their 5 shots in the quarter. First 5 in the quarter they missed. They have now hit on 7 in a row since then. So let's hope that trend has come to an end.
And the Vikings will pressure full boat in the backcourt, and now Larry Klukas will take a timeout.
He wanted to get a look at the Crusaders set offensively. I would expect for them not to come back in that same look. Number one, they had 1 man back and everybody else playing up in the forecourt. I would hope that they would at least bring 2 guys back. You don't want to take a chance on a 2-on-1 home run ball. I think you need 3 seconds left. You would rather give them, number one, give them the ball in the forecourt. Make them work that time or two, that second or two, to get the ball to half court. Don't allow them to throw that ball 3/4 court on the fly and have that full 3 seconds to work with. You're better off drop the pressure back and make them work in their own forecourt.
So Larry Klukas now with 3 seconds remaining. Winnebago leads by 1. They led by as many as 13 in this basketball game.
And don't look for the Crusaders to take the ball themselves anywhere near the inbound line there. They're digging their own grave if they do that. They have to get the ball to near half court on the fly here.
Because of the timeout, they are not allowed to race the baseline here. Is that correct?
No, after a made basket, they can use it anytime. So they can race it.
They can run the baseline here if they want to, and now they're going to take another timeout.
Timeout, Crusaders.
Well, see, I guess I'd have to give Tom Kuiper some credit here. You know, he's using his timeouts, and he took a shot at seeing what Larry Klukas was going to do. And, you know, it's an old chess match right here. You tell me what you're going to do, now I'm going to change what I did, or was going to do. But the long and short of it is...
The thing that's funny about it is the young man really didn't give him much of a chance to see exactly what the setup was going to be, because the instant he got the basketball, he immediately called timeout.
Again,
now these guys are going to remember they've set up now. This will be the 3rd different play.
Both teams will probably go back to what they were going to do the first time.
Yeah.
But again, it's imperative to make them work that ball in their forecourt.
Well, and if you're Sheboygan Lutheran, you
got to throw the ball to your half court.
You're going to have to throw the ball half court or even 3/4 court and force an alley-oop thing there that take the chance on getting the foul if possible.
Except the Vikings, they got 2 men back behind. They got 2. This is a good defensive setup for him here.
And everybody
that's good.
Up in the front court. They get it up to half court. Jimmy Johnson shot it away. No, that's the ball game. And Winnebago Lutheran prevails, winning this ball game by a final score of 65-64. And we'll be back to wrap it up for you here at the Fieldhouse after this on your WLA Viking Basketball Report.
Manowski Welding of Fond du Lac for quality welding and fabricating of steel, aluminum, or stainless steel. Anytime, anywhere, whether it's structural or ornamental, Manowski should be your steel fabricator. Feldner Chevrolet of St. Cloud has been serving the community for over 50 years, featuring Chevrolet and Geo cars and trucks, Mercury outboards and Arctic Cat snowmobiles. Service after the sale is their #1 priority. Stop in today at Feldner Chevrolet, 1201 Main Street, St. Cloud. When your insurance needs start becoming confusing, why not turn to the professionals that will give you the straight talk? The Call Insurance Team. They're an independent agency with a hometown attitude, and because Bob Call works for himself, he'll work harder for you. Call Insurance, the hometown agency, now at 25 North Main in Fond du Lac. Insurance without all the theatrics. Well, maybe just a little.
If you think that all new car dealers are pretty much the same, think again. At Holiday Auto and Truck, there is a difference you'll appreciate, because it's based on what you've told us you like and dislike about buying a new car. At Holiday, it's a professional approach to selling, considering your needs, your budget. It's knowing our products inside and out, specialization, and a commitment to total customer satisfaction. For Oldsmobile, Cadillac, Mazda, or GMC Truck, we're the dealer with a difference. Holiday Auto and Truck, Fond du Lac. It's a matter of style.
Once again, welcome back to the field house on the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy, where the Vikings have come away with a thrilling one-point victory over the Sheboygan Lutheran Crusaders. Right now, Dave Preston with very special guest, coach of the Winnebago Lutheran Vikings, Larry Klukas. Dave?
And thank you very much, Mike. And Larry, you guys don't like making things look very easy here. At one point, it looked like certainly this ball game was well in control. You went up by 11, I think as much as 13 here in the second half of action, and just slowly but surely. Give Sheboygan Lutheran a lot of credit. They just kept chipping away, and finally come back and even take a one-point lead in this ball game.
They really fought back the third quarter. We had a cold spell, and we kept our lead pretty well through the third quarter. I think it was still 6 or 8 going into the fourth quarter, but they, like you say, they just kept chipping away. And with our missed free throws and a number of missed shots right under the basket, we allowed them to come back into the game. But you always got to credit the other side, because they're playing defense and making it tough in there too.
Was the fouling situation here tonight, and you had to adjust to a set of officials here that are going to call things really pretty tight. You wind up with a number of kids in a little bit of foul trouble. Dave Melke fouls out of the game. At the end of the ball game, you got Matt Pullman with 4 personal fouls. That changes things that you'd like to do as well.
Really does. First half, I wanted to play everybody in the early part of the game, mainly because it's parents' night. I wanted at least everybody to see their son on the floor. And then, the first half even, Dave had 2, Matt had 2. We brought in Kevin. I thought Kevin did a nice job for the defensive minutes he was out there. And Troy Siebold had a nice game tonight, filling in for Paul Aird when they played their 2-3 zone. Troy's the man I like in there because he catches and passes very well for a big guy, and he also rebounded tonight. But we had some foul problems, and I just thought the kids coming off the bench did a nice job as far as playing within themselves.
One person that did a real nice job coming off of the bench for you here tonight was Steve Schneider. He finished up, matter of fact, as your leading scorer, had 18 points in the basketball game, 14 of that before intermission. He really did a nice job when they got him the basketball down low, was getting himself into the open for one thing, and that is not that easy a shot. Even though you're all low down there under the bucket, that's not that easy a shot.
Yeah, you really have to spot the glass and bank it in your rhythm. And Steve really played a fine ball game tonight. He started, I would say, 10, 11, 12 games for us when Belke was out. And John, the rust is still there. And Steve doesn't complain. I'm bringing him off the bench. And tonight, he really sparked us in the second quarter, third quarter. Just about every time he got the ball inside, like you said, something good happened, and he took it to the hole and put it in. So he got a lot of big rebounds as well for us. So I'm really happy for Steve. He's one of the hardest workers on the team in practice. Very, very coachable kid, and a guy that since freshman year has just gotten better and has increased his minutes with the opportunity of John being out this year. And he's just a solid kid out there for us this year.
Another person coming in off the bench that did an excellent job for you, particularly in the second half, was John Supernan.
Yes, John, the last 3, 4, maybe 5 games has played much better than he has in the early part of the season. And number one, he's taken better care of the ball. His shot selection is improving, number 2, and I've always been happy with his defense. But I think John is gaining confidence the second time through the conference schedule this year. He's picked up his game a notch, and again, he's a guy that I've liked to bring off the bench and add spark. I like Nate with his ball handling. Nate's not a shooter for us. He knows that, I know that. And then I can rotate in John for Nate and then take Ben out and bring Nate back in, and it's just a nice 3-guard rotation there. And like you say, John had another nice game tonight.
It was no surprise to me that Ben Neatfeld was going to be the young man to take that last shot. Benji, an extremely unselfish basketball player, but can shoot the ball, and I was not at all surprised to see him take it into his own hands and take it upon himself to get to that winning bucket here tonight.
Well, we talked both during the 3 timeouts there at the end of the game. We also talked in the locker room afterwards. If somebody scores and takes the lead with 23 seconds on the clock, I would rather just keep playing than take a timeout, set up a play, and they dig in on their defense. You've watched so many games and that doesn't work, and I think if there's over 10 seconds on the clock, just take the ball out, inbound it because they're not in a full court press, get it up and just play. And if you miss, get that offensive board, you know, and stick it back in. So it was no design play at all. We just came down the floor, 23 seconds. We rotated the ball, I think, to each side of the floor, and it was getting down to 12, 11, 10. And then he drove in and took a good square shoulder shot and happened to put it in. So then we had, 3 seconds to go, and the chess match starts.
Larry, a number of things coming up for you, and coming down the line now very quickly, of course, is the Lutheran tournament here within the next couple of weeks, and something that you guys have got to be pointing for just a little bit, and hoping that you can have some kind of a finish there. I'm looking way ahead, of course, but that's going to be a tough tournament. You're going to have, at least 2 teams in that tournament that are ranked within the top 10 in the state of Wisconsin with Northwestern Prep and Kettle-Moraine Lutheran.
Yeah, Kettle dropped out this week out of the rankings, but, I mean, they only had the loss to Prep to show for, or to St. Lawrence to show for that, and I don't understand why they dropped so far. But, yeah, Kettle has beat us twice this year. Prep we have to play next Friday night down at Prep, and we have to play at Mesmer yet, and we have Sheboygan Christian over here yet. So we have some tough games coming with the top teams in our league. And you go down to Watertown, I'm guessing we're going to be picked either 5th or 6th as the rankings came out, or are supposed to come out this week. We had to vote about 2 weeks ago. And based on record alone, we were about the 6th team. But I know people do respect our conference when they vote, so I'm not sure where we'll be. But it's very likely, if they vote straight records, we could play Kettle in the opening game for the 3rd time, and the 3rd time we're going to go after those guys if we play them again.
You talk about the conference. We were talking about this throughout the course of the game on Tuesday night with St. Mary Springs. Even with Kettle now dropping out, as you say, out of the top 10, but still, I believe, still in the rankings within the top 20 or so there at any rate. You've got St. Lawrence Seminary, you've got Northwestern Prep, and you got Kettle-Moraine Lutheran, all in this Northern Division of the Midwest Classic Conference. It's not too often that you're going to see 3 ranked teams within one conference, let alone within the same division here. This has been a very tough conference, and it's very easy to explain why Winnebago Lutheran, with you've won your 4th game now in conference play, 4-7 record, tough conference.
Well, it really is this year. We have always had Northwestern Prep near the top in the state rankings every year, and generally we'll have Prep and somebody else has a good team, either Kettle or us a few years ago, or Kettle or Sheboygan Christian, Waupun. But this year we've had actually 4 schools, with Sheboygan Christian 2 weeks ago being in the rankings. And it is, 1 through 4 is very, very tough. And I really believe had things gone a little bit differently at the beginning of the year for us, we wanted to be in the contention at the top 1, 2, or 3. And we're not going to cry over spilled milk. I mean, we're right now trying to get ourselves ready for the end of the season, taking them 1 game at a time. But it's a deeper conference this year than it's been in a long time for having 3 or 4 real quality teams.
Larry Klukas, head basketball coach of the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. You get a win out here tonight, the 6th win of the season overall for you, and a 6-10 record now, but pointing certainly in the right direction here on the second half of the season. And I think the kids are playing some real fine basketball for you, and good luck the rest of the way down the road. And never know what could happen here come tournament time.
That's right. Tournament is a whole new season, and we have 4 more games to gel and get used to each other yet, and then we start over, and it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks for coming out again.
You betcha, Larry. Thanks very much. We'll be back right after this on your WLA Viking Basketball Report. Always welcome at Whispering Springs Golf and Supper Club. Their beautiful dining rooms are open 7 days a week starting at 5 p.m. Reservations are always welcome. Hope to see you soon. Whispering Springs on the Ledge. Whether you're buying or selling, be sure to put the hometown team to work for you. A class of proven professionals with over 50 years experience. That's Hometown Realty. Call them today at 923-7800 for a free market analysis.
Once again, back at the field house on the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy, where the Vikings come away with a thrilling 65-64 win over the Sheboygan Lutheran Crusaders. We'll take a quick look at all the closing statistics here for tonight's action. First of all, for the winning Vikings of Winnebago Lutheran, they end up 27 for 72, 37% from the floor. The Crusaders, 24 for 60, 40%. The Vikings with a decided advantage on the rebounding category, 43 to 32. And each team has a game total of 13 turnovers. And Dave, the final scoring.
Very quickly here, Mike, for the Crusaders of Sheboygan Lutheran, were led out here tonight by Brian Calmerton with 21 points in the basketball game. 12 points apiece then for Jimmy Johnson and Mike Hicks. 10 points for Jeff Wagner. And 4 points for Ryan. Was that Ryan Berger?
Yes.
No, it was not. Gary Schalick.
Oh, okay.
He had 4 points in the basketball game. 2 points apiece for Mark Schmitz and Dan Liebe. For the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings out here this evening, they were led by Steve Schneider, who came off the bench, scored 18 points, 14 of it coming before intermission. 11 points in the basketball game tonight, scored by Paul Aird. He had 10 of that before the end of the first half of action. And then 9 points from John Supernand, all in the second half. 8 points for Benji Needfeld, including the winning bucket with 3 seconds remaining. We had 6 points out here tonight from Dave Melke, 4 points for John Belke, 2 points for Nate Pullman, 2 points for Matt Pullman, 4 points for Brian Ewert, and 1 point for Troy Siebold to round out the scoring for Winnebago Lutheran Academy. The Vikings led it 16-14 after 1 quarter to play, and it was 38-29 by 9, the Vikings at halftime, 48-41 going into the final quarter of action, but Sheboygan Lutheran comes crawling back in and actually takes the lead at 64-63 before Benji Needsfeld's 14-footer to win it with 3 seconds remaining and give the Vikings their 6th win of the year. Now, we'll remind you that we'll have high school hockey action for you on Friday night as the Fond du Lac Goodrich Cardinals will play host to the Silver Eagles of Monona Grove. 8 p.m. with the face-off time and 10:30 with the replay here on the Star Channel, Cable 21. Then coming up next Monday night, we'll have collegiate basketball action as the Marion College Sabres will play host to the Redmen of Ripon College. Steve Holes, former Fond du Lac Goodrich star, as well as Scott Fortune from St. Mary Springs, formerly of St. Mary Springs, will be with that ball club, so that should be an interesting game. Thanks to the Video Sports crew tonight, our technical directors have been Shane Ford and Nancy Marco, as well as with the electronic graphics. Our 2 camera guys tonight, Big Ralphie Pop and Phil O'Neill, has been courtside. Mike Pfeiffer with the statistics and color commentary on the basketball game. For Mike and the rest of the Video Sports crew, I'm Dave Preston, wishing each and every one of you a very pleasant good night, reminding you that this has been a Video Sports presentation. Final score once again, Winnebago Lutheran 65, Sheboygan Lutheran 64. Thanks for viewing us here on the Star Channel, Cable 21.